Second down, 5 yards to go for the Buckeyes at the 43 of OSU. We approach the 9-minute mark, second quarter. Johnny Woldridge. There he goes. Arsado's barking signals. Late pitch to Workman. Cutting back. Workman is off to the end zone. Touchdown!
From Ohio Stadium on the campus of the Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio, it's Ohio State football. Today, the Ohio State Buckeyes battle the Indiana Hoosiers. Hello, everybody. I'm Jack Kramer along with Paul Warfield, and we're set to bring you all the exciting action of the Buckeyes' second Big Ten Conference game of the year against Bill Mallory's Hoosiers. Paul, Indiana, like Ohio State, has won 3 of 4. Each team 1-0 in the Big Ten. Indiana's offense possesses a lot of firepower.
Well, Jack, I liken this Indiana football team very much to LSU that the Buckeyes played earlier in the year. They have the same kind of offensive firepower. Great passing, it's very strong running, and all adds up to a lot of problems for Ohio State, but the Buckeyes have a great defensive unit, and they'll be ready.
More often than not, when Indiana's opponents run the football, they like to run away from one of the Hoosier linebackers.
Well, Van Waiters is their outstanding outside linebacker. He led the Big Ten in tackles for loss last year. He had 14 sacks. Legitimate All-American candidate. He's a big play player. Ohio State will want to stay away from him.
Wins for the Hoosiers in this series against Ohio State have been very difficult to come by. Indiana's last victory was here at Ohio Stadium back in 1951. We're a moment away from the kickoff of today's game between Ohio State and Indiana.
Now the offensive team for the Ohio State Buckeyes. As tight end, number 88, Alex Higdon.
A gray sky overhead. The field is dry. We're seconds away from the kickoff. The Buckeyes will be receiving. Indiana with a slight wind at its back, kicking from the north to the south, as the Hoosiers, coached by Bill Mallory, take on the Buckeyes. Of course, Bill Paul was an assistant here at Ohio State with Earle Bruce in the late 60s.
Right you are, Jack. From 66 to 68, an assistant coach on the staff of Woody Hayes and coached with Earle Bruce here. They both are very familiar with one another, have great respect for one another, and so it brings two former coaches who were coaching mates who are now on opposite sides of the field today.
Of course, Earle Bruce has never lost to the Hoosiers. In fact, the Buckeyes have won 50 of the 64 meetings between these two teams. Perhaps a slight mist in the air right now here in Columbus. Workman is back deep at the goal line along with Carlos Snow to receive the opening kickoff. And it's a short kick. It's blooped down to the 22-yard line, taken there by Sullivan. He gets to the 25. 1st and 10 for OSU from its 25. Derek Daniels made the tackle for Indiana. Tom Tupa brings the Buckeyes up to the line of scrimmage. Of course, Tupa was just 7 for 21 a week ago. Ohio State begins the game with two tight ends, the freshman Jeff Ellis along with Alex Higdon. This is Workman running for maybe a yard and a half, and that's it. Workman came into the game averaging 3.9 per carry.
Buckeye offensive line, Joe Stazniak, Carl Coles at the left guard spot, Jeff Lewenake, and Zakharoff, and Tim Moxley. The receivers are Alex Higdon, Everett Ross, and Bobby Olive. And the backfield, Tupa, Vince Workman, Bill Matlock, substituting for the injured George Cooper.
Bill Matlock, the walk-on, gets a starting call from the power eye. The Buckeyes run it straight ahead for about 4. Carlos Snow leaves the Buckeyes short of a first down by 4 yards. 3rd down coming up. For Indiana defensively, Harrison, Bauer, and Schlereth along the line of scrimmage. Waiters, Bates, Money, and Huff are your linebackers. And Ziegler, Hickerson, Ferry, and DeWitts man the secondary. Third down. Buckeyes need between 4 and 5 for a first down. Draw play, Workman. He's covered behind the line. Breaks free. Dragged down at the 30. Buckeyes will have to punt. Willie Bates, who leads this team in tackles, made the hit on Workman.
However, Jack, on the play, number 48, Van Waiters made his presence known as he was back in the backfield, causing Vince Workman to change his course of direction. And then, of course, Willie Bates came up to make the tackle, short tackle for Indiana.
Tom Tupa will do the punting for the Buckeyes. His raw average is good for number 3 in the country. Low snap from center. And he drives it to the 31. Tackle made at the 35. Good coverage by Ohio State on Eric Coleman. Zach Dumas was the first scarlet-shirted Buckeye downfield. Indiana starts from its 36, first and 10.
Quarterbacking Indiana, number 11, Dave Schnell.
This Indiana offensive unit is guided by Dave Schnell, a 6'2", 210-pound sophomore. He leads the Big Ten in passing efficiency. Among the top 3 QBs in that department in the country. And this is Thompson on the first play from scrimmage. Tackled by Coleman. Gain of 2 for Anthony Thompson.
Anthony Thompson, the ball carrier.
Chris Spielman tackled Thompson.
The Indiana offensive line, Simons, Radke, Finney, Schrader, and Moore. The receivers in the good pair, or good threesome, Allen, Jordan, and Jones. And the backfield of Schnell, Thompson, and fullback Tom Pulse.
Jones split to the left. Buford, who's in now, is split to the right, but it's a draw play. Thompson bursting ahead for about 3. And like Ohio State on its first series, the Hoosiers face a third down and about 4. Derek Eisenman made the tackle for Ohio State.
Hoosiers have been very efficient, Jack, in third down possession situations coming into the ball game against the Buckeyes today. Of course, they feature that fine running attack, and we've seen a little bit already of the fine runner, Anthony Thompson, who's a sophomore, but the trigger man is David Snell, number 11. He can make things happen.
Indiana converting first down on third down 60% of the time this year. Ohio State defense giving up a first down on third down just a third of the time. It is juggled out of bounds at the 35. Pass intended for Kenny Allen. Ray Jackson was step for step with him.
Quarterback David Snell getting good protection on this play before throwing a corner pattern to Kenny Allen. 2 Buckeyes in the area, Ray Jackson and also William White. Very good tight coverage by the Buckeyes as they stop Indiana and force the Hoosiers to punt.
Dan Straczynski will do the booting from around his 30. And he hits it to Ross at the 17. He's got some running room. Everett Ross breaks it to the 45. The 45 of Indiana. Dan Straczynski, the Indiana punter, saved an Ohio State touchdown. Great return by Ross.
Excellent piece of running by Everett Ross. Watch him start, go right up the middle like a draw play. Look for daylight, breaks one tackle there, spins away from an Indiana tackler at that point. Starting to gather himself. Number 12, the punter, Straczynski, was the man who made the stop. Fine run by Everett Ross.
I formation, 2 tight ends for Ohio State. Ross split far to the right, out of your picture to the top of the screen. It's Workman, left guard. He lost the football. Who got it? Let's see. Hoosiers think they have it. Indiana football. Is Workman, after a significant gain, coughed it up.
Buckeyes in their standard I formation. Workman will cut off of Zakharoff's block, spins around, and as he spins, making a pirouette movement, he loses the football.
Brad Money recovered it. It looked like the first man with whom Workman came in contact was tight end Jeff Ellis, who was doing some blocking out ahead of him. And as he spun off that block, he lost the pigskin, and Indiana stops Ohio State's threat.
When you make a run like that, Jack, and when you start to spin around on your axis, sometimes you have a little bit of problem gripping and grasping the football.
From the 37, first and 10 for Indiana. We've played 4 minutes, no score. This is Schnell lofting it to the sideline. The catch by, no catch by Jones, as he was knocked out of bounds by William White and could not hang on. Excellent defense applied by William White.
Very fine defensive play, as you said, Jack, by William White. David Schnell looking to get his next play from the sidelines from the Indiana coaching staff. William White really played that extremely well.
From the 37 of Indiana, second down and 10 for the Hoosiers. Schnell last week threw for nearly 200 yards, 3 touchdowns against Northwestern. This is Thompson sprinting to the left. No running room. McCray and Cumro force him out of bounds. Buckeyes defensively against Indiana's offense will feature Holloman, Sullivan, and Coleman along the line of scrimmage. Cumro, Spielman, Ritter, and McCray are your linebackers. And Jackson, White, Rogan, and Brown fill out the secondary. Fred Ritter in there defensively for the Buckeyes at a linebacking spot. He's been out a couple weeks, nursing an injury. Hoosiers passing on 3rd and 9. Schnell going long. Jones, a wide open receiver, as he caught it in front of the Buckeye zone down at the 42. Mark Pelini, who is in there as a part of the Buckeye nickel defense, made the tackle, but it was too late. First down.
Ernie Jones is the big play man. You see him going in motion across your screen there, and he comes wide open over the middle, and Schnell calmly drops the ball into him. Mark Pelini comes up and makes the tackle, but it shows you the kind of ability that this Indiana pass offense has. And Ernie Jones, of course, has been the man who's been making big things happen and catching the football for the Hoosiers.
Jones has caught the ball for 100 yards in 3 of Indiana's first 4 games. Anthony Thompson, outside left tackle for 4, second down and 6. We near the 10-minute mark, first quarter. Indiana driving.
Buckeye defense must be able to handle Indiana's running game as well as their passing game. The Hoosiers are so strong in throwing the football, you don't want to allow them to establish the running game to give Ohio State dual problems.
Over the years, Paul, the Hoosiers just have not been able to run much against Ohio State, and that spelled trouble for them.
Well, they're attempting to establish that running game right now.
This is Pulse ripping off about 8 or 9 and then some. He's got a first down to the 27.
Indiana isn't a team that likes to run their fullbacks very often. Basically, they're a tailback-oriented team, but this is a straight handoff to Pulse, who breaks back across center, finds a big hole. Big guy, Tom Pulse, 6'1", 220 pounds, and he's a load to bring down. Makes good yardage. Indiana has it going exactly the way they want it going right now, with the running game and supplementing it with the pass.
Safety David Brown had to make the tackle for Ohio State deep in the secondary. First and 10 for the Hoosiers. Indiana with 2 tight ends in there. Thompson right up the middle, dives ahead for 3 yards to the 24. Mike Sullivan, the nose guard, and Chris Spielman, who had 14 solos a week ago, plugged up that running play for the Buckeye defense. Buckeyes have Derek Eisenman in there now for Ken Coleman. Split back formation. Powell and Thompson behind Schnell, who sets up to throw. Plenty of time. Wide open is Jones. He's inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Goal to go for the Hoosiers.
Again, quarterback David Schnell looking for his favorite receiver, and he finds him time and time again. Ernie Jones goes high to make the catch. He's right in the middle of the Ohio State zone. Gets the first down. The Hoosiers are on the move.
Shaken up player down at the 10-yard line. Bill Mallory in his fourth year at the helm of the Indiana football program.
Has done an outstanding job, Jack, of reviving this football program at Indiana. Took the Hoosiers to a bowl game last year. Very fine season in the Big Ten. And, of course, right now, they coming in this ball game with a fine record. Concern on the Buckeye side of the field for the player down. We believe it is William White. Number 37, William was involved on that tackle also with a couple of other Buckeyes, and shaken up on the play and being attended to right now. Of course, with Indiana's ability to throw the football the way that they can throw it, Jack, certainly if William White was lost to the Buckeye secondary at any point in this ball game, it would be a very big and significant loss.
Section 22A are members of the
Well, the Buckeyes have been hit by the injury bug the last few weeks.
Welcome back, gentlemen.
Of course, the fine offensive lineman Davidson is out to 6 to 8 weeks. William White is up on his feet.
William White, number 37, as you see, closing in on 27, Ernie Jones, to help out on this tackle, but he really gets a blow from his own teammate Moore and another Indiana player in the area of the abdomen or the ribs, and apparently he's just shaken up coming off the field right now after being attended to by the Ohio State training staff. Going to sit down on the bench. Perhaps William will be back in the ball game shortly.
Junior Dwight Smith, number 20, has entered in place of White. First and goal from the 9. This is Thompson between tackle and guard, surging to the 4 of Ohio State.
The ball carrier. He's stopped by
Mike McCray made the tackle for the Buckeyes.
Anthony Thompson, Jack, last year was hurt most of the year in his freshman year, but turned in a fine performance once he came back into the regular lineup, rushed for a little over 800 yards. Coach Bill Mallory is very high on this young man, and he's the perfect running back to go along with a very fine passing attack.
Andre Powell in at fullback behind the quarterback Schnell. This is Powell over right guard for 2. It'll be 3rd and goal coming up. Ray Holloman, who's had a fine year for Ohio State, made the stop.
Buckeye front wall and defensive unit stiffening with their backs to the wall. They've shown a tendency at times during the course of the year, they played so well, to bend, but of course not break. And of course Indiana showing something that not very many other teams this year have shown, the ability to move the football in the first quarter.
3rd down and goal from about the 3-yard line for Indiana. Jones in motion. Thompson, toss sweep to the left, flag down. It's a touchdown, but there is a penalty marker. There may have been movement in the left side of the Indiana offensive front. No, Indiana says the Buckeyes were guilty.
There was a little bit of initial movement from the interior position of the Buckeye defensive line, but there did appear to be some movement, Jack, as you called, from the Indiana left side of the line, but the officials say no, and they award a touchdown to the Hoosiers.
So Indiana draws first blood, leading 6-0 with 6:57 left in the opening period.
Stoyanovich,
Number 10, is the place kicker. And he zips it between the uprights, and the Hoosiers lead 7-0. Bill Mallory of Indiana, Paul, known for his defense many years ago. In fact, at Miami of Ohio, his teams featured outstanding defenses. But at Indiana, he's developed a fine offensive attack.
Always has been known more of a run-oriented coach and a defensive-minded. As you see, the initial contact that appeared coming from the nose tackle position of Mike Sullivan, that flipped back to the speedster, Anthony Thompson. He gets good blocks, runs to the far left corner of the end zone, and shows his elation as he gets into the end zone with the touchdown for the Hoosiers.
The young man, Stoyanovich, Paul, is a fine soccer performer for Indiana University. In fact, he performed on the soccer field last night. I think, in fact, tonight or tomorrow he's performing on the soccer field somewhere. Boy, that's got to be a tough job for this young man. 2 sports, same season.
Well, it is a tough job for him. They're a little bit concerned, Jack, about his kicking up to this point. He's 2 for 5 in field goals and has not been particularly productive for Indiana. Perhaps as this game wears on, the kicking game may even become more important, and he may become a factor.
63-yard drive by Indiana was capped off by Thompson's jaunt of 3 yards. And then Pete Stoyanovich kicked the extra point. Hoosiers lead it 7-0.
Picking off number 10, Pete Stoyanovich.
Again, a slight mist in the air here at Ohio Stadium. Workman 6 yards deep in the end zone, goes down to one knee. And the Buckeyes will start their offense from the 20, 1st and 10. A chat taking place on the sideline. Chris Spielman's Ohio State defense gave up a touchdown in Indiana's second possession of the afternoon. Only the second first-half touchdown the Buckeyes have given up this year. And Paul, the first via the rush by the opposition. That was the first running TD against OSU.
It's certainly a rare occurrence, but what is more important now that the Ohio State offensive unit is going to have to demonstrate that it has the ability to move the football, but not only do that, but put points on the scoreboard.
Matlock breaks into the clear. And a 16-yard bolt from scrimmage by Matlock. He's filling in for George Cooper, who's got bruised ribs.
Good blocking at the point of attack for Matlock. Gets through a hole right off center. Dodges the safety man. Loses balance. Brought to the turf by Eric Hickerson, cornerback of Indiana.
1st and 10 for the Buckeyes from their own 36. 6:46 left, first quarter. Indiana leads 7-0. Power I formation behind Tupa. Carlos Snow wrestled down for a loss of 2. Second down, 12 coming up. Outside linebacker Joe Huff read the play and snowed Carlos for a setback.
Not much drive off the line of scrimmage by the Ohio State forward wall on that play. Carlos Snow a little bit slow in reading it, ran right into the stack of the pile. Perhaps could have gone left or right a little bit more, but you know, that's a guess that I'm making from up here. Obviously he saw it a lot better from down there.
George Cooper has been inserted into the Ohio State lineup. Tupa wants to throw, plenty of time. This is Higdon, upended at the 40. Alex Higdon, the senior from Princeton, made the catch, and Brian DeWitt's tackled him.
Very high percentage pass play Tom Tupa is using here, dropping the ball into the flat to the tight end. Alex Higdon, who's just going right from his position. DeWitt's from his safety position comes up and drops him. Brian DeWitt's last year was the starting quarterback for Indiana, now playing the safety. That's a big change. I guess it sort of defeats the theory that quarterbacks aren't tough, huh, Jack?
Well, you got to be tough to play in the secondary in the Big Ten, that's for sure.
And tackle 255-pound tight ends like Alex Higdon.
Buckeyes passing on 3rd down. Tupa throwing a bomb for Ross. Everett Ross lining up at split end today, Paul. Buckeyes trying to get him free perhaps thinking that as a split end lined up on the short side of the field, he might get single coverage more often.
Well, that was a case where he did get single coverage, and safety man Mark Ferry was on him out of the slot position more than anything else and bumped him just as he was starting to go after the ball that was thrown deep. Nothing wrong with that passing play. Perhaps it's one that Earle Bruce and the Buckeyes can come back to again, but one thing for certain, they're going to loosen up the Indiana secondary by showing the deep pass.
Good point. Tupa on to punt. Line of scrimmage the 40. Oh, Tupa gets away, a beauty, a hanger back inside the 10. The return by Buford. He escapes McCray, but he's knocked down at the 18. Sullivan was there, as was Cumro. Hoosiers are backed up inside their 20. Bill Matlock was a Buckeye who was down there to make initial contact. Good coverage. Do you fault Buford for making the catch back at the 7 or 8 yard line, Paul?
He made a good return out of it. Indiana still backed up inside of their own 20-yard line and starting their offense from that position. Yes, I still say that you fault him because it is a cardinal rule that you do not want to field the football inside of the 10-yard line. There are too many negative things that can happen.
But he told the coach he knew he was going to make a 12-yard return.
Well, the coach didn't know that at the time.
Schnell on the run, keeps it. He loses 2 or 3. John Sullivan slowed down the quarterback's progress. 2nd down and 12 coming up.
All right, Dave Schnell, who makes the initial fake to Tom Poles, the fullback, and then rolls to the left, but he simply has no one to throw the football to. And then John Sullivan comes up from his linebacking position to make the stop. Loss on the play for Indiana. Fine defensive play. Ohio State secondary and backed up by support by Sullivan.
William White has returned to the Ohio State secondary. Here's a draw play. Thompson trying to run it to the outside, gets upfield for a significant advance to the 25, leaves Indiana 3 yards short of a first down. Greg Rogan stymied Thompson after he picked up on the play about 9 yards.
Anthony Thompson is an interesting runner, Jack, primarily because he will not run the designed hole. That time, he took a draw play that was designed to run more to the right side, and you saw him just break instantly back when he saw daylight. So it means the Ohio State defenders are really going to have to stay at home. You can't overrun this guy because he'll cut back on you like a dime.
3rd down play. Indiana needs 3 yards. They must reach the 28 for a first down. Allen was in motion. Cumro on a blitz. A short pass complete. A first down to Thompson. Ray Jackson knocked the pins out from under Thompson, but not before Schnell eluded Cumro and found the open receiver for an advance of 7.
Thompson can catch the football. In this instance, he does it well. Cumro puts great pressure, but it shows you a lot of poise in quarterback Schnell as he just steps up in the pocket and dumps the ball right off to Thompson. Thompson makes the first down for you. Capability of Indiana to throw to the backs is another weapon for the Hoosiers.
Pulse is 34 behind Schnell. Pulse plunged for 1. 2nd down 9 upcoming. Ray Holloman, 55, off the pile for Ohio State, the 262-pound senior defensive tackle.
Now that last run with Tom Post was just designed to keep the Ohio State defense honest. Basically, Post is a blocking back in the backfield for pass protection and the lead blocker for Anthony Thompson. He is not by design a runner for the Hoosiers.
2 receivers split to the wide side to the bottom of your picture out of the screen. 2nd down 9. This is Thompson, and he's got about 11 yards and a first down out near the 45. Thompson very explosive. That Indiana offensive line opening some holes against the Ohio State defensive front.
From the I formation, Thompson is explosive out of the backfield, gets a good block from Poles at the point of attack, and then gets into the secondary where he is stopped by David Brown. Indiana doing exactly what they'd like to do in this ball game, so that they're not forced to throw the ball in definite passing situations. As long as they can run, Thompson from his I-back spot, he's got 43 yards right at this point. They're going to present great problems for Ohio State in defending against them.
Buckeyes are giving up just 84 yards a game running. Thompson's got half that already. This time he slips down and loses 2. Greg Rogan covered the play for the Buckeyes. A minute and a half left in the first quarter. 7-0 Indiana. There is some moisture in the air. Many of the fans here at Ohio Stadium have donned some rain gear. Second down. Indiana must reach the 45 of Ohio State. Quarterback draw, run by Schnell. A big gain to the 47, 2 yards shy of a first down. Boy, this man doesn't look like a sophomore quarterback, Paul.
He's playing with a tremendous amount of poise. This time, the Indiana Hoosiers show a definite pass situation with split backs, and yet Schnell himself on the quarterback draw takes it, gets some resistance at that point. Eric Kummerow comes up to help on that tackle with David Brown. Hoosiers find themselves in a very nice situation of third and short yardage.
Third down, only 1 needed for a first down. Pat Thomas is in as the Buckeyes show a 7-man defensive front. Thompson, nice hole. He's got the first down as he slipped through for 2 or 3 yards to the 44. Down to 20 seconds left in the opening period.
Gain of 2 yards. First down, Indiana.
As I said before, Jack, Indiana has been very impressive in their offensive output up to this point. They're really getting the run game going the way they want to get it going, and it's making their passing that much more effective. Coming into this ball game, you knew the passing was the strong suit. They didn't want to be in a position where they had to throw on every down.
Indiana only 6th in the Big Ten running the football coming into the game today. Schnell up top, dumps it into the flat to Pulse, racing to the 36, where he's wrestled down, and that is the last play of the first quarter here at Ohio Stadium. An 8-yard pass play from Schnell to Pulse terminates the first period. Our score after 1 quarter, Indiana 7, Ohio State nothing. We'll be back with more Ohio State football in a moment.
From all the states in more than 100 countries, they come to Ohio State. They come to study in nearly every conceivable academic area. More than 7,000 courses in more than 200 majors. They come for world-class research, a vibrant arts community, and the nation's largest recreation and intramural sports program. For the education, the experience, the excellence, the Ohio State University.
It's the second quarter of Ohio State football. This is Jack Kramer with Paul Warfield from Ohio Stadium. The Buckeyes trail the Hoosiers 7-0. We're seconds away from the start of the second stanza. And Paul, we've seen that Hoosier firepower through the air like we thought we would, but we didn't expect to see Indiana run the ball against the Ohio State defense with as much success as it's had so far.
Well, Jack, I think that Coach Bill Mallory knew coming into this ball game that he had to establish the running attack. Otherwise, what Ohio State would do is force Indiana to throw the football and force Indiana to throw the football in situations in which the Hoosiers would not want to throw it. And otherwise, very predictable situations. And then Ohio State could sit back and play the defense or perhaps blitz. Right now, he's got the perfect blend going. Mallory does, with the running game being so effective. He only is relying on the pass when he has to throw the football, but he's throwing it in situations in which is keeping Ohio State off balance. We've talked all along through the first 4 ball games about the Buckeye offense. Today may be that day that the offense will have to come alive.
Good observation. The Buckeyes may very well need more than a couple touchdowns to win this game. Play resuming, start of the second period. Second down and 2 yards to go for Indiana. Just outside the OSU 35. This is Thompson looking for an avenue. He stretches out 2, possibly 3 yards. And a first down at the 33 of Ohio State. That's the 7th first down for the Hoosiers, Paul.
Yes, and the first quarter statistics indicate that 6 first downs for Indiana, 1 for Ohio State. But look at the total yards, 115 for the Hoosiers, just 32 for the Buckeyes.
Play just underway here in the second period. 1st and 10 for Indiana as they display the I formation. Thompson cutting ahead to the 30 as he stumbled down after advancing it 2 yards. John Sullivan knifed in to make the tackle along with Eric Kummerow. Thompson, as you mentioned, Paul, got out of the gate slowly last year because of an injury and then rolled up over 800 yards. He had 100 yards in 6 different games. Perhaps a passing down here for the Hoosiers. Nope, it's Powell, and he is tripped up at the 29.
Andre Powell, the ball carrier.
That leaves Indiana 6 yards short of a first down. 3rd down coming up.
Ken Coleman, from his defensive front position, came across the line of scrimmage, got some penetration, and tripped up Powell before he could get started. These Indiana fullbacks, basically, as I said before, are blocking backs, but when they run the football, they're big guys. Pulse is 220, and Powell, who just ran the football, is 225. So they're big backs.
The Buckeyes have 6 defensive backs in. Schnell on the option. Eric Kummerow was in the middle of that traffic for Ohio State, as was Mike Sullivan.
The versatility of Schnell, as you saw the option, but Buckeyes get penetration to jam that play up. Schnell really doesn't have very much room to run the football. Fine job by OSU and Mike McCray, who playing off the blocker particularly to get to Schnell to not allow Indiana to make a first down.
Stoyanovich will try a field goal of 44 yards. He hasn't made one this long this season. Against the wind, it is good. And Indiana takes a 10-0 lead with 12 minutes, 18 seconds left in the second quarter. Pete Stoyanovich, who was only 2 of 5 in the field goal department entering the game, smacked that one across the crossbar with plenty to spare. Unlike last year when the Hoosiers missed the only 2 field goals they tried, Stoyanovich cashes in on the first one.
But there's never been really a question about Stoyanovich's ability to kick the ball. It's been a question of perhaps his concentration and level of concentration because of the dual responsibilities in playing soccer during the football season. But Stoyanovich certainly has the ability to kick the football for length and to get it done.
82-yard drive by the Hoosiers, including that field goal distance. And Indiana had the ball for 7.5 minutes. Hoosiers lead this game by 10 points. Indiana trailed, or I should say OSU, Paul, trailed to LSU in the first half of that game. 10-3 at one point. But this is the widest margin by which Ohio State's trailed in a game this year.
It's still early in the ball game, of course, but there is a growing concern and indication that Ohio State must get this offense going.
The boot by Stoyanovich is down to the 2-yard line. This is Carlos Snow, and he rams to the 20. First and 10 for the Buckeyes from their own 20. Andre Hall was the first cream-shirted Hoosier downfield to make contact on Snow. Boy, that 7.5 minute drive by the Hoosiers resulting in the field goal, has put the Buckeyes in a 10-0 hole now. Two tight ends. This is Cooper over right guard. He's pushed ahead to the 24. George Cooper had a good day last week. 18 carries, 90 yards. 11 carries, 50 yards the week before.
Operating today with bruised ribs, but nevertheless in there, and his running was very effective last week, as you mentioned, against Illinois. And Coach Earle Bruce, of course, wants to get him more and more involved in the running game. You just can't take him out of that because he's so effective.
Play action, Tupa looking. He's got a receiver. It's Higdon. A first down to the 33. And he fights for more before the Freeman Crimson can push him back. Doug Schleris on the tackle for Indiana.
Tom Tupa looking more and more for his tight end, Alex Higdon, and finding him open more than not. Higdon coming across the field on a short pattern after it had been cleaned out by the deep wide receivers. Makes the catch, draws a number of white-shirted Hoosiers in there. Brought down, but Higdon makes a big first down for the Buckeyes.
11:20 left, second quarter. Buckeyes trail 10-0, but they have a first down from their own 33. Moxley and Stasiak are the tackles. Coles and Zakharoff are the guards. Sprint draw. This is Bryant. James Bryant broke it to the 43 of Indiana. Bryant DeWitt flushed him out of bounds, but it's a big gain for Bryant.
Sort of a delayed sprint draw action, and Bryant makes a couple of nice cuts at the line of scrimmage. Behetz gets blocking from Henry Brown, and a couple of the other Buckeye linemen gets downfield. Makes a big gainer from Brian DeWitt, bounces him out of bounds.
And that truly was the James Bryant of last year. First down for the Buckeyes. This is Cooper churning for one, maybe two. That run by Bryant of Ohio State was good for 24 yards. There you see Jeff Ellis being sent in by Earle Bruce. We expect to see a lot of Ellis and Higdon at tight end at the same time today.
It is a part of the two tight end package that Coach Earle Bruce indicated earlier in the week that he would use today, and so far young Jeff Ellis has been doing quite well as the second tight end.
Two tight ends again. Ross split far left. Tupa looking on the run. First down. Penalty marker. Alex Higdon may have thrown a clip. Perhaps it was Jeff Ellis. It was about a 15 or 16 yard scamper by Tupa, but it's wiped out. Tupa was looking for Ross, who was slanting across the middle. And when he appeared to be covered, Tupa was trying to find an alternate receiver. And then better yet, he thought, I'm going to run it.
Very wise decision. Unfortunately, mistakes occur in a ball game, and looks like mistake occurred because of a young, inexperienced player who was just trying to be aggressive.
Tom Quinn, your head referee, signals a clip. Your other officials today are Tom Manning, Jim Mullendore, line judge is Don Langlow, J.W. Sanders, your field judge, Richard Reels, the side judge, the back judge is Jim Sherlock.
But getting back to the point, Jack, it appeared that Jeff Ellis was the person who made the error in terms of trying to get a downfield block to help Tom Tupa, and perhaps clipped on that play. However, it throws the Buckeye offense rather, back on the other side of the field nearly, and they're 2nd and 14.
Line of scrimmage, the Indiana 48. Tupa. We're running to the 40. First down. The fans and Buckeye players thought there was a late hit. No flag was thrown. Earle Bruce is upset about it, too. Vince Workman threw a good block to shake Tupa free. Brutus is unhappy also. He's throwing a fit.
Well, practically everyone in Ohio Stadium here today is upset about that call. Clearly, Tom Tupa tried to get out of bounds after getting as much yardage as he could get on the play, and that was an awfully close play, but the officials do not rule that an infraction occurred.
So Tom Tupa, who saw the one run eliminated because of a clip, comes right back and totes the football to the 27. A first down for the Buckeyes, who send Ross far to the left. Bryant is in the backfield with Cooper. Two tight ends are employed. This is George right behind Ulenake, and he's got about 3.
Tom Tupa, play before his big gainer. Watch him clearly step out of bounds at this point. Now he's vulnerable and is hit by Eric Hickerson, the right cornerback of Indiana. The officials did not rule that it was a late hit or hit out of bounds. And so Indiana got away with something that time, but nevertheless, Ohio State has the first down.
From the 25, second down and 8. Five seconds on the 25-second clock. James Bryant looking for a hole, and he crept forward for 3 yards to the 22. Darren Bush, an inside linebacker for the Hoosiers, slowed down progress on that play, and that brings up third down and about 6 yards needed for a first down.
Tom Tupa got pretty close to the clock being expired. Put the ball in play that time because, Jack, he was at the line of scrimmage and apparently saw something, called an audible to his offensive unit, trying to get the best possible play on at the time of execution.
Buckeyes need between 5 and 6 yards for a first down. They must get inside the 17. Tupa eludes a Hoosier. He's got a first down and then some. It will be goal to go from the 9.5-yard line. Eric Hickerson chased Tupa to the sideline. A fine drive by the Buckeyes, engineered by Tom Tupa, who's doing it the hard way. He's running the football himself.
Well, he wants to throw a quick pass over to Everett Ross, but the pass simply isn't there. And because Tom Tupa has great escapability and ability to get out of trouble and get around contained, he makes something out of nothing on this play and keeps the Ohio State drive moving. Being bounced out of bounds again by number 45, Eric Hickerson.
Goal to go for the Buckeyes inside the 10. Vince Workman hits to the 7. Nolan Harrison, a big 250-pound, 6'6" defensive tackle, was in Workman's path. Gain of just 1.5 yards, so it's second down and goal for the Buckeyes between the 7 and 8 of Indiana. Let's see what head coach Earle Bruce has called here. Man in motion was Higdon. Running to the right is Bryant. He is down to the 1. Touchdown!
As you see Alex Higdon, 88 in motion. Bryant follows Madlock's block and then does it on his own as he runs over Brian DeWitz and Mark Terraferry, the 2 safeties of Indiana.
France is on to try the extra point. Powell will hold. It's a good center, good spot. Kick is good, and the Buckeyes have cut the Indiana lead to 10-7. A fine drive by the Buckeyes, who could not move the ball very well against the Hoosiers the first couple times they had it, but they did on this drive.
Well, Buckeyes have very strong blocking the right side line. There's a big block by Jeff Ellis, who really just explodes on the Indiana blocker. And then James Bryant, with the great leg drive that he has the ability to plunge and get it in the end zone. Now, ground level shot. Bryant will meet resistance right at the goal line, put his head down, bounce off tacklers, keep his balance, and get into the end zone for the touchdown.
James Bryant trying to recharge himself today. It was last year against Indiana in Bloomington when Bryant rolled up 131 yards and 22 carries. And he's trying to give this Buckeye offense some spark here this afternoon.
Well, I guess you could say, or it might be safe to say, that he enjoys playing against the Indiana Hoosiers for some reason or another, because it means he's having or going to have a good day. Buckeye offense really needed that drive, Jack. Not only from the standpoint of it took time off the clock, but they moved the ball almost the entire length of the field, and yet they got it in the end zone. And it was important that they come back and score, because, as I said, today may be that day that they're needed more so than in the past 4 weeks.
O'Moro kicking off with a slight wind at his back, and he hammers it down to the goal line. This is Jones on the return. He goes down at the 17. Jones went down right in front of Greg Rogan, who was downfield for Ohio State, as was Frank Hoke. 80-yard drive by the Buckeyes. It needed just 10 plays. .720 left in the second period. 10-7. Indiana leads it by 3. Thompson running to the right, and he's cracked out of bounds after gaining just 1. Buckeyes did a good job of stringing out that play. Perhaps a flag was thrown at the sideline. Well, if that's a penalty against Ohio State, then Tupa was tackled late out of bounds also.
Well, that's a call that's not going to be agreed with by the fans here in the stadium. And as you said, Jack, if that one is called, then certainly the one on Tom Tupa should have been called earlier. Eric Kummerow doing a good job of forcing this play wide. And I don't really see where there's anything wrong there. Greg Rogan bounced him out of bounds, but Chris Spielman did not really do anything to him. He did not receive a late hit from Spielman, so I don't agree with that call.
Nope, the only hit was applied well in bounds. So the penalty gives Indiana a first down across the 35. Schnell looking up top. It is broken up by William White as he came over the top of Buford and batted that ball to the ground, and also helped pin Buford to the turf. Good double coverage by Ohio State.
Well, Ohio State played the pass exceptionally well. Buford is going in motion there. Now the fake by David Schnell, and he's rolling to the left and trying to hit Buford going into the flat area. And William White is simply in a position to really knock the lights out of Buford, but he kindly goes after the football because he's playing the football and trying to make an interception, which is the right thing to do.
2nd and 10 for Indiana, 36-yard line of the Hoosiers. Thompson looking for a crack, and he got about 4 yards. Didn't seem to be much there, but he squeezed out 4. Indiana faces a 3rd and 6.
There really wasn't very much there for Anthony Thompson, but with those quick feet and the ability to change direction and spin, he really made something out of nothing.
Mike Sullivan and Jackson made the last tackle for Ohio State. Coleman, Sullivan, and Showalter, that defensive front for the Buckeyes. We see Holloman is also checked in. A flat pass is caught, but short of a first down. Tim Jordan, the tight end, on the reception. He was well covered by Zach Dumas, who was in there as part of the nickel coverage in the secondary. But Indiana's got to punt the football. They're a yard and a half shy.
Well, Tim Jordan, who is a junior, simply must know where the chain markers are. It does you no good to catch a pass and completion if it's a yard short of the first down. So Tim Jordan must kind of share the blame on that, simply not executing his pattern and getting deep enough. But of course, Zach Dumas probably had something to do with that.
Ross for Ohio State will receive the punt from Straczynski. And it's a high floater. Ross at the 18, dodges one man, then another. A nifty return by Ross out to the 26. Mike Larson spun Ross to turf. Everett is walking a little gingerly to the Ohio State bench.
Well, can ill afford to lose Everett Ross either. Ross here shakes off the first tackler, gets by the second tackler, almost is ready to break it again, but number 46, Larson, comes up and shoestring tackles him. Everett Ross, who kind of limped and went gingerly off the field of play. Buckeyes can't afford to lose him. He's been, of course, their most consistent pass receiver in a passing game that has been a little bit weak in recent weeks.
5 minutes and 37 seconds to go. Second quarter. Buckeyes down 10-7. Tony Coop and Bobby Oliver now in. James Bryant is twisted down at the 26 or 7. No gain on the play. Nolan Harrison and Dan Bauer managed to shake off blocks and thwart that running play. 2nd and 10 coming.
James was attempting to go right and then slip back through the back door on the left, but the back door was closed shut by Bauer and Harrison.
Matlock behind Tupa. Workman behind Matlock. Coop and Olive still in as receivers. Tupa with time, slings it for Tony Coop. He's got a first down. A 13-yard gain to the 39. Tupa to Coop.
Tony Coop from out of the slot position, you can't see down on the lower part of your right screen, runs a square out pattern. He's open, cleared for the catch, makes a nice possession catch, and then it is bounced out of bounds. Now this is an end zone look at Tom Tupa as he's looking for his receiver. Tupa behind good protection finds number 22 wide open. Of course, he is knocked out of bounds by Van Waiters of Indiana.
That was Coop's 5th catch of the season. James Bryant looking for a hole, spins out to near the 50. A first down for the Buckeyes. Mark Ferry spun him off his feet, but it's another OSU first down.
James Bryant again running behind Jeff Ulenek. 79, Joe Stasniak spins away from 35. Joe Huff heads back upfield, makes good yardage, running well today. Jim Bryant.
Bryant averaging nearly 9 yards a crack so far from just across the 50. First down for OSU. Tupa in the pocket, fires too high for Higdon. He was available near the 30. DeWitts was in the area for the Indiana defensive unit. Had the pass been a little lower, Higdon should have been able to pick that one off. Tupa would like to bring that one down.
Tupa threw that pass under a little bit of pressure. Van Waiters, number 48, man who led the Big Ten in sacks last year, as we said, Jack, with 14 and had a total of 24 tackles for loss. He's a guy defensively can make a lot of things happen, and that time he made Tom Tupa hurry his pass. If Tom had a little more time, he would have been able to hit Alex Higdon, who was wide open in the middle.
Ross is back in for Ohio State. He and Coop are the wideouts. Tupa is down back at the 40. A quarterback sack for Waiters. The 6'4 senior nailed Tupa.
As we said, number 48, Van Waiters, is a fine player for Indiana, all Big Ten last year from his linebacking position. There he is, George Cooper trying to handle him. He's just a little bit too quick for George, and George a little bit under the weather. And single-handedly, he brings Tupa to the turf with just one hand. Outstanding player. Indiana believes that he's a legitimate candidate for All-America honors this year, and we certainly wouldn't disagree with that.
3rd down and 20. Buckeyes must get inside the Indiana 40 for a first down. Play action. Tupa fires to the sideline on one knee. The catch is made for a short gain of about 5.5 yards. Tony Coop hauled it in, but the Buckeyes needed 15 more yards.
Well, this pass is a reception, but really not for much yardage at all. Tupa kind of dumping the ball off after he looked downfield. Tony Coop going down to one knee to scoop it up, but he's a long way from a first down.
We're down to 3 minutes left in a rather hastily played first half. Tupa will take the snap at his 32 and will punt it to Buford. End over end kick. Buford bobbles. Loose ball. Apparently it's going to be ruled dead at about the 20. Well, there is a penalty marker down. Perhaps they did not give him room to make the fair catch. Let's see. Buckeyes may have interfered with the Indiana man's right to make the fair catch of the punt.
Well, another call here this afternoon that the fans here certainly are not going to agree with. Could have been a big turnover for Ohio State had the officials ruled otherwise. As you see, Buford right here, and it looks like he's being given every opportunity to make that catch right there. There was no one really pushing him or pressing him on that catch. But the officials ruled otherwise, and the ruling has to do with clear an amount of distance that the defender is away from the receiver.
So it's a first down for the Hoosiers, who retain possession. And the Buckeyes throttle that running effort by Thompson right at the line of scrimmage. Keep in mind, each team has its full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. We're under 2.5 minutes to go in the second period.
Buckeye defense doing a lot better job now of playing the Indiana run tougher on first down, and Indiana comes back in a situation now where they're 2nd and 10, and so it kind of triggers them into more of a passing mode and thinking about throwing the football.
Jones, the man in motion. Schnell lofts it to the sideline to Buford. He makes an excellent catch out at the 41-yard line and stops the clock at 1:51. Superb throw by Schnell. Standout catch.
Exactly that, Jack. Great throw under a little bit of pressure and great catch. Right exactly where Buford can catch it on the outside, and the Ohio State defensive back cannot get to it. 2 Buckeyes in the area. Fine throw, fine catch.
From just beyond the 41, it's a first down for Indiana. Clock running again, 1:44 left in the second period. Play action by Schnell. Zips it down the middle to a wide open Ernie Jones. He tried to cut and slipped at the 37. Stop clock. The clock stops momentarily as the first down chain is advanced. 1:32 to go.
Buckeyes are going to have to do a lot better job of defending against Ernie Jones in the open field. His forte is not necessarily the burning speed, although he has enough speed to go deep. His forte is breaking the catch for a big run after he catches the football. And nobody was around him when he caught that football. He went down on his own because he lost footing.
Schnell. An out pattern for Buford is wide. Very few times today has Schnell been off the mark.
Might have been, Jack, on that particular instance that Schnell wanted to just get a play off to stop the clock. It didn't look like it was that difficult a pass to throw out there in that flat, and he hurried it and threw it. He may have just wanted to stop the clock once the chains were moved up.
There is a slight drizzle in the air. Field perhaps becoming a little more slippery. 1:15 to go, second period. Second down and 10 for the Hoosiers. Short drop by Schnell. Kumro's after him. He's got him.
Watch him, number 14 from the bottom of your screen. Eric Kumro gets around first blocker and just keeps in pursuit of Schnell. Brings him down in a key play, the third sack of the season for Eric Kumro. Very important man in that Ohio State defensive scheme. Eric Kumro always can come up with the big play, the key quarterback sack when you needed it, and then certainly in that situation, that was a key sack.
And the Buckeyes are getting a breather as the Hoosiers have called a timeout, the first they have used in this half. Paul, a couple weeks ago, Indiana was facing Missouri and trailing late in the game. They were down by less than a touchdown and needed 6 points to win it. They had a fourth down in the vicinity of midfield and long yardage, and they pulled out the first down and then went on to win the ball game. They're facing third and very long here, and if they want to get some points on the scoreboard in the last minute of this game, they're going to have to pick up quite a few to get Stoyanovich near his range.
Well, certainly in this situation where it's third and 20 yards for first down, they've got long yardage, but if they can capture at least half of that yardage or a little more than half of that yardage, I would think that the Hoosiers would want to go for it again. Certainly would have put the ball down in the range of the 30-yard line or so with not more than 59 seconds left in the first half, and that would be worth gambling for.
This has been a very good third and fourth down team this year. The Hoosiers have been very successful on third and fourth downs. Third down here. 20 yards to go. Schnell fires. It is no good. Ernie Jones got a hand on it. Then the ball bounced free. Zach Dumas was in the area for Ohio State. Boy, that would have been a tremendous play, and Indiana pulled that one off.
Ernie Jones was open again. He lost footing. As you see, Schnell will step up in the pocket. Ohio State doing a good job with the pressure, but watch Jones as he goes down right there. He was in position really to catch that football and could have made that catch. Schnell under a lot of pressure from Ray Holloman, number 55, who was coming right in his face. The most difficult thing for a quarterback to do is throw with someone coming right in your face, and Schnell did that rather well.
Straczynski gets the kick away, and it's a boomer far into the end zone. Clock stops at 46 seconds. When play resumes, the Buckeyes will have it first and 10 from the 20, trailing by 3 with 3 timeouts left. Rain beginning to fall a little harder here at Ohio Stadium.
Well, the Buckeye offense certainly has started to step up its pace. Right now, they're finding themselves 80 yards away with 46 seconds to play in the first half. It'll be interesting to see what their approach will be if they elect to throw or whether they decide to come out in the second half and play the football from that point.
Buckeyes had Higdon flanked out 7 yards on that play. It's a running effort by Bryant, who dances up to the 27. Second down and 3, clock running, 34 seconds. William Bates made that last tackle for Indiana, down to 26-25.
Buckeyes, I believe, are doing the right thing, and offense has moved pretty well here late in the second quarter. Basically, they want to.
Tupa to Ross. He's got it across the 50. There is a penalty marker down. Tupa may have been roughed after he threw the football. Everett Ross was wide open as he found a seam in that zone. Personal foul call against Indiana. The play, of course, netted about 25 yards.
Buckeyes electing to go through the air here, and Tom Tupper with a big one. He's hit late on the play, but finds Everett Ross deep in the Indiana zone for a fine catch.
And the penalty is being assessed against Indiana, as apparently in the official's judgment, the infraction occurred after the play had ended.
And the infraction occurred actually with a late hit on Tom Tupper by Indiana's outstanding outside linebacker Van Waiters.
Well, the clock seconds ago was started, and the Buckeyes, who were somewhat indecisive, thought we better call a timeout and get it stopped so we can get at least one more play off. 5 seconds remain. The Buckeyes, thanks to the 25-yard pass play from Tupper to Ross, and then the penalty assessment of another 15 against Indiana, have the football inside the 35-yard line of the Hoosiers. Well, the Buckeyes would like to have those seconds back at the beginning of this drive when they ran Bryant and were somewhat deliberate in getting off that second play.
It certainly would have enabled them to perhaps get at least an additional play in before bringing Matt France out on the field to try for this field goal attempt.
So Matthew France is on. The Buckeyes have 5 seconds left. This would be a kick of 51 yards, a little over 51 by France with the wind. He hooks it from right to left, and it is good. And time has expired. Matthew France is mobbed out at midfield as the Buckeyes have drawn even on the last play of the first half. It's halftime here at Ohio Stadium. The Buckeyes 10, the Hoosiers 10. Back with more Ohio State football in a moment. It's halftime here at Ohio Stadium. The score is tied. The Buckeyes 10 and the Hoosiers 10. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jack Kramer along with Paul Warfield here at Ohio Stadium. It's a fine football game. The Buckeyes and the Hoosiers are even. The Buckeyes have scored the second 10 points of the first half. The Hoosiers got the scoring underway, Paul. Anthony Thompson, Indiana's fine tailback, carried the football in for 6.
Well, he's an all-purpose tailback. He can catch, but he certainly can run, and we'll see him on this flip that he receives from quarterback Snell. Runs to the widest part of the field, gets a good block, goes into the end zone untouched to give Indiana a 7-0 lead at that point. Buckeyes come right back. Alex Hickton in motion. James Bryant, who seems to always play well against Indiana, gets a good block from Ellis, number 89, there at the point of attack. Then watch this power as Ellis does it all on his own, shaking off several Indiana tacklers to get in the end zone to make the score at that point in the ball game. Ohio State 7, Indiana 10. Buckeyes just at the close of the half, through the likes of Matt France, a record-tying field goal of 51 yards into this rain-soaked field, all the way to knock the score at 10-all at that point. Ohio State 10, Indiana 10, as we prepare to go into the second half.
Just 2 years ago here at Ohio Stadium, Rich Spangler kicked a field goal of 51 yards against Indiana. Those are the only 2 kicks of 51 yards by Ohio State field goal kickers ever here at Ohio Stadium, as the kick by France ties the record held by Spangler for an OSU kicker, 51 yards. And that boot, as Paul said, tied this game up at 10. Buckeyes have closed to within 1 first down of the Hoosiers, Paul.
But as you see, it's pretty much an even ball game. OSU a little bit ahead on the rushing, but total yards 179 for Ohio State, 168 for Indiana. First downs are about even. So the ball game is dead even here at halftime, 10-10, so it's anybody's ball game from here.
And it is turning into a soggy afternoon here at Ohio Stadium. Who's got the advantage, Paul? The run-oriented Buckeyes or the pass-oriented Hoosiers? As we take a look at some passing stats, Schnell with the lead, as we might expect, 95-57.
Has a little bit more yardage, but of course Tom Tupa is 5 out of 7 today, which shows that his consistency is coming up there. But anyway, I think that in this situation, Ohio State, with the bigger team, might have the advantage with the run.
O'Moro kicks a bounder down to the 9-yard line. Indiana races it back up to the 24, and on the wet track, the Hoosiers slide down. Time to snuggle up under the umbrella here at Ohio Stadium. Who's got the edge, do you think, Paul? The pass-oriented Hoosiers during this wet weather, or the run-oriented Buckeyes? I hear differing views now and then.
Well, I think that Indiana's offense is geared for the more explosive kind of attack. They do most of their damage throwing the football. It'll be interesting to see how effectively they can throw the football with the rain continuing to come down. Ohio State is really geared to the grounded out kind of attack with George Cooper and the interchangeable tailbacks of Vince Workman along with Jim Bryant.
Schnell to pass on first down. He shoots it for his tight end, who zips out to the 36-yard line. Catch by Jordan, the junior tight end from Middletown, Ohio. Tackled by Spielman and Rogan.
It's not too often that the Indiana quarterbacks look for the tight ends. Tim Jordan, number 86 in this case, but he's wide open on the play. And they fit the football into him. He makes a nice game. Basically, Indiana wants to throw the football to their 2 outside receivers, Kenny Allen and number 27, Ernie Jones.
And the wet weather probably will never bother a short pass to the tight end.
It's the easiest pass to try to throw, one that's short and over the middle or short distance.
Thompson trying to spring it to the outside. McCray wrestles him down at the 36. Mike McCray.
Mike McCray did an excellent job, number 99, of playing off the block of 86, Tim Jordan, just staying with Anthony Thompson, not allowing him to get outside, bringing him down on that particular play. No gain, and so fine play by Mike McCray. Indiana finds itself in a situation in which they need to throw the football.
Second down, Indiana needs 10. They must reach the 46 in Hoosier territory for a first down. This is Thompson, and he is stopped by Kummerow, who latched on to him after a 2-yard advance. Mike Sullivan also got his nose in there on the play. So it is third down and 9 for the Hoosiers. We've played a minute and a half here in the third quarter. Indiana scored the game's first 10 points. The Buckeyes answered with 10. Buckeyes have 6 defensive backs in there. Dumas and Pelini have joined Rogan, Brown, Jackson, and White. Third down and 9. Indiana shows a passing formation. Schnell. This is Jordan. First down to the 40. On the loose to the 30. Tim Jordan, who played his high school football in Butler County, Ohio, in Middletown, makes a big play. He was wide open. Brown and Pelini tackled him, but too late.
It appeared if all of the Buckeye defenders were out on the 2 outside receivers, leaving Jordan, number 86, all alone in the middle, and he makes a significant big gainer to open up this second half. Indiana showing that they can move the football. Ohio State had triggered Indiana into a must-throwing situation that time. However, Indiana, as you said, Jack, has a very high percentage of completion on third down, and they did it again on that third down play.
2 tight ends are employed on first down. Jones in motion. Thompson cuts it back, puts his head down, drives for 5. Paul, we've seen Jordan catch 2 balls here in the third quarter. Has that been drawn up, you think, at the half? Did the coaches see something in those first 2 quarters that they shared with everybody else in the locker room during intermission?
Well, the only thing that I can assume on the last completion to Jordan, either someone missed the coverage in the secondary. He was just too wide open going down the middle. Everyone seemed to be out on the 2 outside wide receivers, Kenny Allen and also Ernie Jones. Of course, they demand respect because they've had great years up to this point, but you can't allow a tight end to go down the middle the way he did, go uncontested.
Second down and 6. And the Buckeyes thwart that running play just across the line of scrimmage as Spielman stopped Pulse cold after a 1-yard advance. Third down, at least 4 needed for a first down, perhaps closer to 5. Buckeye defense trying to rise to the occasion. You likened this Indiana offense before the game to that offense that LSU displayed, Paul, and the Hoosiers have lived up to that.
Well, they certainly have great capability in throwing the football and making it work on third down.
It's a quarterback sack. But this time the Buckeye defense did the job.
For the first time this afternoon, the Buckeyes come almost with an all-out blitz. Ray Jackson, number 47, is the one who comes free on the blitz as you see Spielman and other linebackers coming. But it's number 47 who comes through first. Then Kumaro, along with Ray Holloman, number 55, and the blitz pushes Indiana out of field goal position.
And that quarterback sack by the Buckeye defense was critical, as it did force the Indiana offense out of field goal range, and Straczynski must punt it, and he slams it into the end zone as it took a favorable Ohio State hop, and the Bucks will get it at the 20. First and 10, score tied, 10 apiece, 10:19 to go, third quarter.
Very fine series by the Ohio State defensive 11. Indiana was moving the football very well. Ohio State strategically disguised their blitz very well and showed it as a surprise element to Indiana and made a very, very important sack to knock Indiana out of field goal range.
That was a big play because Indiana would have had a slight wind at its back with the kick, but was forced to punt following the loss on third down. Matlock carried for 2 yards, second down 8 for the Buckeyes.
Jack, just to quickly go back to that last possession of Indiana, that defensive maneuver did 2 things. Basically, it kept Indiana from making a first down, because potentially if Indiana makes the first down, they still are in march or in pursuit of the 6 points. But not only did it keep Indiana from doing that, it knocked them out of range to try for the 3-pointer.
9:40 left in the third quarter, clock running. Vince Workman is stalled after a gain of just 2. It will be third down and a little better than 4 yards to go for a first down.
Buckeyes are coming into a situation where they haven't really been gangbusters this year, and that is the third down 4 or better situation in making the first down. Certainly last week at Illinois in the second half, that kind of deteriorated, that caused a lot of their drives to stall. They need to make some of these third possessions.
And Everett Ross is split far to the right, out of your picture to the top of the screen. Play action. Tupa, short pass to Bryant, nice catch. But he slowed down and dropped at the 27. Bryant stopped short of a first down, but 3 yards.
Great pursuit and aggressiveness by the Indiana defense, as momentarily it looked like that James Bryant, after taking the fake and slipping out of the backfield, might be able to make this first down. But as you see, a host of Indiana tacklers hit him, bounce off him, but they just stay after him and will not allow him to turn upfield to make the first down. Fine defensive play by Indiana, keeping Ohio State back on its side of the field.
Tom Tupa will punt it to Buford, who's back at his 26. Tupa, coming into the game today, had punted the football 50 yards or more, 13 of 28 punts. And this is another one plus 50. Backs Buford up to the 19, and he's corralled at the 24. He drops the football. Indiana's got it. As the Buckeyes jarred the ball loose with a mean hit. Zach Dumas was the first Buckeye down to greet the return man, Buford. First down, Indiana, inside its 25.
Buford, as you see, is going back to the left side of the field. Not really very much room to work there. Very close to the hash marks right there on that side of the field. He got really hit very hard by Ray Holloman.
Pat Thomas, 54, was also there, Paul. And the young man from Centerville really put a jolt on the return man, Buford.
Well, the Hoosiers were very fortunate in that the ball popped out and they recovered it. Could have been a very big play and turnover for Ohio State.
Well, the game's only turnover so far has been committed by the Buckeyes. I mentioned that was a plus 50-yard punt. Indeed it was, Paul.
53-yard punt. The return was only 6 yards, and so the Buckeyes got down there in good shape with their kicking team to cover it. And as I said, very nearly came up with a big play because the ball did come out on the turf.
Buckeye special teams have been excellent all year. Ross has done a good job returning punts. Of course, Tupa has been superb in punting the football. As you look around Ohio Stadium, you can try to count the 90,000 plus who are here today.
Well,
How far along are you, Paul?
not very far at all.
Schnell still has the football, and he is piled up out of bounds at the 33. Little hidden ball trick by Schnell. Rogan and Cumro caught up with him, but that was after Schnell had fooled the Buckeyes for about a 9-yard gainer.
The play actually turned out to be a countering effect with a lot of motion going to the right, and then Schnell, of course, keeping the ball and bootlegging it to the left side of the field, and you just don't see that very often. And so it was a good call and made good yardage.
This is Powell, and he twists up to the 39. He's got a first down on the 5-yard advance for Indiana. Mike Showalter in there on the tackle for the Buckeyes, but it's a first down for Indiana. Game tied at 10, 7:39 left in the third quarter.
Gain of 5 yards, first down.
Schnell rolling right, throws a bullet. It is caught by Allen. He's wrestled down short of a first down at the 47. That's a nice play on first down. A lot of action. Rollout by the quarterback Schnell, who seems to do a lot of things very well.
Well, Schnell has the ability to run and throw from the pocket and also on the move to the outside. And this time he pinpoints one into Kenny Allen, who was just actually covered like a glove by Ray Jackson. How that ball got in there for the reception is really beyond me, but it was a reception.
The play was good for 8 yards. Second down and 2. This is Thompson driving across the 50 into Ohio State territory. He has the first down at the OSU 49.
Thompson, the ball carrier. Stopped by
Chris Spielman made the tackle for the Buckeyes. Indiana again
4 yards, first down, Hoosiers.
with a fine offensive surge.
Thompson is the kind of back, as we said before, who has the ability to hit, cut back, slide. He seems to always find an open spot, a crack here or there, and make some yardage.
First down for the Hoosiers. Perhaps an audible by Schnell, who thinks he'd better call a timeout. So Indiana will have 2 timeouts left for the finish of this game, as Schnell called it on first down.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ohio State women's...
Certainly you would have expected a quarterback on a possession down like third to have taken that timeout. A little surprised he took the timeout on first down, Paul?
a little bit surprised. I couldn't really see the clock and the stadium clock to see exactly what the time was and whether time was a factor in terms of the 25-second clock and putting the ball in play. But a little bit surprised that he would call a timeout right at this point in the ball game at that spot on the field.
The towel is hovered over the football at the 49 and removed now for the start of play. 6:15 remaining, third period. 1st and 10 for the Hoosiers. Play action. Cumro nearly got Schnell, who delivers to the 31, and the ball was shaken loose of Kenny Allen. Chris Spielman was there, along with David Brown. Greg Rogan assisted.
A lot of pressure from the Ohio State defense coming from number 14, Eric Cumro, who beats his man coming around the horn. He beats Chris Simons. However, somehow Schnell gets away from him and delivers the football, almost making a good completion into Kenny Allen, but Allen is hit very hard by Chris Spielman. Spielman jars the ball loose from Allen, and so play goes for just a big incompletion.
2nd down and 10 for Indiana. This is Thompson bursting into the clear. Anthony Thompson's got about 17 yards to the 32 of Ohio State.
Thompson's running definitely has been a factor in this ball game, and it's a factor on this play as he takes this sort of delayed draw handoff, finds an open spot between tight end and left tackle, and he's off to the races, and then he punishes the Ohio State defensive secondary, brought down by Jackson and Brown in the secondary, but it's another big first down for Indiana as they're on the move again.
Thompson has 81 yards on the day, just a few yards short of the average rushing yards the Buckeye defense has given up per game this season. A late pitch. This time Thompson is knocked out of bounds. No gain. 2nd down, 10 coming up. Mike Sullivan pursued the play and bumped Thompson to the sideline. Ray Holloman assisted.
2 times that Indiana has shown the option play today, the Buckeye defense has responded and played it very well. And that time they strung the play out for short yardage, although Indiana managed to make 2 on the play. That is not a big gainer.
5 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Buckeyes have employed 5 defensive backs and are showing blitz. 2nd down, 8 for Indiana. Schnell, an out cut, it's wide. As Jones had run a route up the sideline, the nearest man to the football was David Brown of Ohio State. 3rd down coming up.
There's a mix-up in call there. Schnell thinking that the receiver was going to run the out pattern. The receiver instead ran the out and up pattern. The out and up pattern looked like it was there for a big score, but it almost turned out to be an interception too.
Actually, it was 37, William White, and not 27, David Brown, who was covering on the play. 3rd down, 8 yards to go for a first down. Dave Schnell, nearly 150 yards throwing the football today. Will try to strike for first down yardage here. He has some time. The short throw is incomplete at the 26. William White covered the receiver as the Buckeyes behind the line of scrimmage were beginning to cave in on the quarterback Schnell. Mike McCray led the wave of scarlet-shirted Buckeyes who put some heat on the quarterback.
A lot of pressure on the Buckeye secondary at that time. Buckeyes blitzing, so it means man-for-man coverage back there. But the pressure was applied on quarterback David Schnell, did not give him really the time that he wanted to throw the kind of pass he wanted to throw.
With the wind at his back, Stoyanovich will try a field goal of 47 yards. It is in the air, and it is wide right, no good. Stoyanovich, who was 2 for 5 coming into the game today, made one of plus 40 in the first half, but missed on that one as it was off to his right. And the Buckeyes will take over the football at their own 30.
The Buckeye defense again came up with a key third down play, which has been the strength of this Indiana football team, third in possession, and took the football away from them.
Tom Tupa at the helm. Matlock is at fullback. This is James Bryant stretching out for 4 yards to the 34. Willie Bates, 225-pound junior inside linebacker, grabbed onto Bryant, dragged him down. Workman enters for Bryant on second down. And 6 from the 34.
Buckeye offense needs to show some consistency here by moving the football and moving it downfield and getting into scoring position and scoring.
4 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ohio State 10, Indiana 10. This is Tupa. In trouble. Penalty marker down. Tupa dragged down at the 32. Perhaps a hold against Ohio State. Doug Schlereth, defensive tackle, a junior, latched on to Tupa from behind. Illegal blocking call against the Buckeyes. Of course, the play went for a -3. Should Indiana decline the penalty, Ohio State would be confronted with 3rd and 9 from the 31. Tricky call coming up here for Bill Mallory. What decision would you make, Paul?
I think I would be intent to take the loss and not take the penalty. I wouldn't want to give Ohio State another chance, but Bill Mallory is obviously deciding otherwise. He wants to put them further back in their own territory.
That's why you played and didn't coach.
Well, that's entirely right, Jack. It's a big one,
Yeah,
and it's a 15-yarder, and which is kind of the reason why Bill Mallory takes it. But anytime you give a club an opportunity, another opportunity to do something, and they have the capability of making something out of it, you're at risk.
So it's 2nd down and 24 following the major walk-off against the Bucks. This is Vince Workman trying to spring it to the outside, but there is no place to go. Buckeyes trying to surprise the Hoosiers with a run on 2nd down and plenty, but Indiana was not fooled. So from the 16, the Buckeyes still need 24 on 3rd down.
Well, Ohio State has 3rd down and a plenty now to get the first down, 3rd and 24 to be precise, and we'll have to be a little bit careful about what they do with the football down here. This is still a very tight ball game. Wouldn't want to give Indiana a turnover, certainly on this spot on the field.
Tupa, with plenty of time, zips it down the middle of Coop. It was in the hands of Tony Coop. The freshman from Columbus South had it in his grasp, coughed it up, and then it was almost picked off by Indiana. Buckeyes will have to punt. Good pressure put on Tupa here.
Well, a little late pressure by number 48, Van Waiters, as he comes to Tupa, as you see, just before Tom delivers the football. I don't think it had anything to do with that throw. Tom was able to comfortably get it off. However, it went off of Coop's hands and nearly into the hands of safety Brian DeWitts of Indiana. It could have been a big turnover for the Hoosiers.
Buford inside his 40 to take the punt by Tupa, which must travel against the wind. From the 41, here's Buford looking for an alley. He's got a seam. He breaks it. He's at the 30. He's to the 20. Bill Matlock saved a touchdown. Indiana has a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
As you see, Buford under the punt here starts to his left, then goes upfield, breaks a tackle at this point, stumbling, somehow maintains his balance. Now he's running full stride again, cuts back. Tom Tupper reaches out at him. Bill Madlock comes from behind to bring him down to save a touchdown on the play. But a fine return by Buford. Big play. Indiana has great field position starting at about their 19-yard line. Right. Ohio State's 19-yard line.
You can cite poor coverage by the Buckeyes, but they had to punt because of a drop pass on 3rd down. Tony Coop dropped a pass on 3rd down, and that meant Ohio State had to boot the football as Thompson runs it down to the 17. Behind Jordan and Schrader. Along the offensive line, Thompson picked up about 4. Indiana must get to about the 9.5 for a 1st down.
Indiana and Coach Bill Mallory, standing on the sidelines in the cap right there, came into this ball game feeling that they could move the ball on Ohio State and the feeling that they could win this ball game, and certainly they're aggressively going after it.
That was a 39-yard punt return a moment ago by Buford after a 43-yard kick by Tupa. Anthony Thompson again plunges for another couple or 3. 3rd down coming up, and at least 3.5 or 4 yards needed for a 1st down. Indiana, of course, well within the range of Stoyanovich, their place kicker. We're down to 2 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. It's 10-10. Last year, these two teams were all tied up at halftime, 14 all. Buckeyes won that game 24-22. Similar situation this year, 10-10, late in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down. This is Thompson. He's got a 1st down to the 7. That play was perhaps designed to go a little more inside, but Thompson bounced it to the outside, and he got the necessary yardage.
Well, he is not what you would call a disciplined runner in the sense that he will run to design hole as you see him start and then start to slide outside as he sees a little bit of daylight and gets around. Ohio State defender, number 99, Mike McRae, getting out of bounds, but not until after he had gotten the necessary yardage for the 1st down.
I formation. Pulse and Thompson behind the quarterback, Schnell. This is Pulse. He's got a touchdown. Touchdown run by Tom Pulse, the senior fullback, and the Hoosiers have grabbed a 16-10 lead over Ohio State.
Again, they don't run the fullback very often, but they just try to keep you honest with it. And that time, Ohio State obviously expecting Indiana to go wide. They start with a wide action, and look at that hole right there. Pulse just goes behind Jeff Fryer, number 79, but there's no one there to contest him or touch him as he goes into the end zone, completely free for the touchdown for Indiana.
Very critical extra point coming up. Indiana trying to extend its lead to 7. And the Hoosiers do. Stojanovich's kick is perfect. And the Hoosiers are in front, 17-10 with 2:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. What a fine job, Paul, this Indiana offensive line has done today.
They've done a good job in running the football all day long. They run it in on this touchdown, ground level shot. Pulse takes the handoff as he starts right, then cuts back left. Look, there is absolutely no one there to contest him as he goes in the end zone. You have to credit Brian Finney, number 63, the center, and Tom Radke, number 64, the left guard, as they just clear out a hole big enough for a truck. Number 79, Jeff Fryer, comes across to take out the last little bit of interference. And Pulse, number 34, goes in uncontested, untouched for the touchdown.
So following that punt return, which set the Hoosiers up at the Ohio State 20, Indiana needs just 4 plays and 1 minute to punch in the touchdown. Stoyanovich converted the PAT, and Indiana leads it by 7, 17-10.
Kicking off for Indiana, number 10.
So far in this period, Paul, the Buckeye offense does not have much to show for itself.
Well, it needs more than a total of 14 yards in the period to get going. And, of course, right on this possession would be an ideal time to get going.
Carlos Snow at the 10. He's got an alley. Carlos Snow, an excellent kickoff return. He took the kickoff at the 10, brought it back to the 41. Good field position for Ohio State as they unpile.
Coach Earle Bruce has been waiting for Carlos Snow to make the contribution. Couldn't have come at a better time as he shows some fine running ability, finding the open spots, and making a fine kickoff return. Loses the football, but the officials ruled that he was down. Carlos knew he was down all the time, and so there's a mad scramble for the football, but it really didn't matter. It's Ohio State's ball.
Two minutes and 3 seconds left, third quarter. Buckeyes in possession at the OSU 41. Play action on first down. Tupa with time. Over the middle, Cooper. He's got about a 7-yard gain. Darren Bush on the tackle of George Cooper, who was the second leading receiver for the Bucks coming into the game.
Cooper,
Paul.
number 44, is setting up to block, but then slides around the blocker over the middle, juggling the football. Van Waiter's right on his back, but Cooper has the poise and concentration to hold on to the football and makes a nice gain.
Shades of Cooper's catch on that fake field goal against LSU a few weeks ago. Ross in motion on second down and 4. This is James Bryant looking for some running room. Oh, he made a nice lunge ahead across the 50. There is a flag down, however. Bryant seemed to be hemmed in at the line of scrimmage, but he went airborne and gained about 4 yards, but the penalty may wipe it out.
Right you are. The penalty probably will wipe it out. A nice run by James Bryant. There really wasn't very much as he was being strung out towards the left sideline, but he managed to make something out of it. But Ohio State is going to be called for holding, in which will take that nice little run away and back the Buckeyes back up deeper in their own territory.
Yep, a holding call against the Buckeyes. Buckeyes have seen that called against them a few times this year.
And it puts Ohio State in a throwing situation, and Buckeyes, of course, have had some inconsistency throwing the football in possession situations this year.
Down to a minute, third quarter. Tupa looking, scrambling, throws back against the grain to Cooper, who trapped it at the 43. Or I should say Bryant was the intended receiver. And that sets up a third down.
Not very many people open on that play. Tom Tupa getting out of contain around the pocket, threw back across the field, across his body to the middle, which you don't like to see quarterbacks do. Receivers got to do a little bit better job of working their way free to get open to provide a target for Tupa.
Earle Bruce has made the call on 3rd and 14. The Buckeyes must get to the Hoosiers 49 for a first down. Tupa lost it for Ross, through his hands at the 45.
The pass intended for Everett Ross, incomplete.
The ball was well thrown. Ross had a man from Indiana out ahead of him, but the pass was in the arms of Ross, but he couldn't bring it in.
Well, it also went into and out of the hands of number 16, Joe Ziegler. He was probably more surprised than anything else. He just didn't make that play. Could have been another big turnover for Indiana.
So Buford, who sprung a big punt return earlier in this quarter, is back at his 14 to take the punt from Tupa. Tupa blasts this one. Buford backs up and lets it hit, and it may stop at the 1. It does. Tom Tupa may not be very efficient as a passer, but he's a great offensive weapon as a kicker.
Great weapon. And Buford made the right decision as the ball is down by Ohio State on about the 1-yard line. Buford sought not to field the football, and he made the right decision there. That punt by Tom Tupa, 61 yards. He put a little bit of backspin on it, and it set up right down on the 1-yard line. Great punt. Ohio State defense can turn this over and play great defense from here. The Buckeyes could perhaps regain the football and have great field position.
.35 seconds to go in the third quarter. 17-10, Indiana leads Ohio State.
Down in the closed end of the field, a tremendous amount of noise the fans are making. And, of course, Indiana electing not to come out of the huddle until the crowd noise subsides somewhat.
Dave Schnell, quarterback, sneaked it for 2 yards out to the 4. Down to 21 seconds remaining third period. The 25-second play clock has not started. Now it has, but we're down to 8 on the scoreboard clock. Indiana really doesn't need to run another play. Time is winding down. That is it. The end of 3 quarters of football here at Ohio Stadium. We played 3 quarters before 90,000 here at Ohio Stadium. Indiana leads Ohio State after 3 periods, 17-10. We'll be back with more Ohio State football in a moment. It's the 4th and final period of Ohio State football. This is Jack Kramer with Paul Warfield at Ohio Stadium in Columbus. We are seconds away from the opening of the 4th quarter. The Buckeyes have got the Hoosiers backed up inside the 5. 2nd down and 8. Paul, I don't think I've ever seen the official take the crowd into his own hands as he seems to be doing here.
A little bit unusual occurrence. Crowd certainly has come alive at the end of the 3rd quarter with that great punt of Tom Tupa, and now they're trying to transfer some of that emotionalism into the Ohio State Buckeye defensive 11. And if the Buckeyes can respond and keep Indiana pinned in this position deep in their own territory, it's going to mean a lot to Ohio State's offense to have the ball in great field position.
2nd down. This is Thompson. He stopped at the 5. Fred Ritter jolted Thompson, who gained just 1 yard. 3rd down, 7 coming up.
Fred Ritter from his inside linebacking position right there will get penetration right in the hole, and he does not wait. He attacks Thompson, the ball carrier, right away to make an outstanding tackle. Ohio State trying to keep him pinned down. Mike Sullivan also in on that play.
Mike Sullivan shaken up coming to the Ohio State sideline. Coach Earle Bruce has said, Paul, that if he were in a foxhole in a war, the 2 guys he'd want with him are the Sullivans, because they would never give up. 2 fine football players. Mike is on the sideline. John is in for this play. Buckeye defense readies itself for 3rd and 7 for Indiana. Snell to throw from his end zone. The catch is made, but it's not a first down. No. Carlos Marty, number 94, the backup tight end, hauled it in, but Spielman made the tackle 2 yards short of a first down.
Courageous call by the sideline bench of Indiana and Coach Bill Mallory. Play action fake to Thompson. Number 94 running from left to right. Pass dump into Carlos Smart. But the Buckeye defenders come up very quick. Greg Rogan from his cornerback position to stop Mart just shy of the first down.
And you mentioned Greg Rogan, Paul. He's the man who is on his back at the 9-yard line. Brutus, of course, a little happier now than he was several minutes ago, as his Buckeyes will be getting the football after Indiana's punt. Seems like Brutus is always wearing that same smile.
Well, Brutus is excited about the possibility of Ohio State getting the football and doing something with it, but the concern right now is registered for Greg Rogan, who is down on the field.
Greg Rogan, the senior defensive back from Urbana, who had 2 very timely interceptions in Baton Rouge against LSU. Shaken up on the play that happened just a moment ago.
Team physician Dr. Robert Murphy has just come out and a signal towards the sideline to bring the cart out. And so, unfortunately, it does not look very good in terms of the status of this injury for Greg Rogan.
A knee injury for Rogan as he is being transported to the Ohio State sideline. Tough loss for the Buckeyes, who will undoubtedly have to finish this game without Rogan in the secondary. 14 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Straczynski will punt from his end zone. Pulse is the blocking back. He's at the 5. Short kick caught by Ross to the 40, and he's wrapped up right there. So the kick did not travel much more than 30 yards, and the Buckeyes have it in excellent position on the field. Lance Malott made the tackle on Ross for Indiana. Greg Rogan on the Ohio State bench. Tupa still has it. This is Bryant. He's corralled for a loss. Back at the 44. Mark Ferry, the strong safety, came up to meet Bryant, who was not able to turn the corner.
The option play that was quite effective for the Buckeyes last week against Illinois simply does not work here. That's 48 Waiters making Tupa deal the ball off to Jim Bryant, and then waiting for Bryant out there is Mark Ferry, the strong safety, who played that run very well.
Tupa fires, it's intercepted. Brian DeWitt on the intercept, back to the 47. Only the third interception Tupa has thrown this year, but that's a critical one.
Tom Tupa trying to hit tight end Alex Higdon, but Brian DeWitt read the play very well from his safety position, is just sort of sitting in the bushes waiting to come out. As watch him come in front of Higdon at this point, intercept the football, and now heads back upfield for Indiana Tom Tupa coming up to make the tackle on Brian DeWitt's former quarterback, starting quarterback, as a matter of fact, a year ago for Indiana, now playing at free safety.
13 minutes, 19 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. The Buckeyes trail 17-10 and have just given up the football after getting it in good field position.
I was going to make the point, Jack, very critical turnover. Ohio State had great field position on that play.
Buckeyes blitzing. Schnell zeroes in at the 48. Anthony Thompson bolts down to the 45, just short of a first down. Fred Ritter and Ray Jackson knocked Thompson down. Second down and 1 coming up. 13 minutes to go.
Buckeye defense now under a little bit of pressure to hold Indiana to no more points.
Zach Dumas is playing for Greg Rogan at the 1 corner position. Second down and 1. Indiana runs it. It's Pulse spinning to the 41. He's got a first down. Tom Pulse generated 4 yards on that play. Spielman and Ritter double team Pulse. First down Hoosiers.
Indiana showing a little bit of variety in its running game now. They have shown the option pitching it back to their running backs and tailbacks, Anthony Thompson. That time they showed option, but they gave the straight handoff to fullback Tom Pulse, who made the first down.
We near the 12-minute mark, fourth quarter. First down, Hoosiers. Pulse again, pounds ahead for 3 or 4 more yards to the 37.
Tackled by Chris Spielman.
Ray Holloman and Chris Spielman were there for Ohio State, as was Fred Ritter.
The important thing to note also, Jack, Indiana has shown the ability to control the football and take time off the clock for long periods throughout the day. And Tom Pulse is beginning to pick up his pace. Although he only has 17 yards, they've run him at precise times where he's been very effective.
Buford in motion. Misdirection. Schnell is covered up at the 35. Fred Ritter was on top of Schnell as the Hoosiers tried some misdirection and ran it back into the short side, Paul.
A fake to Pulse, and then the option play with Schnell taking the ball down the line. He does not get very much yardage. Fred Ritter was the guy who made first contact with him, got some help from his teammates. Ohio State has really played Indiana's option pretty well today for the most part.
The Hoosiers need 4.5 yards for a first down. They must reach the 30.5 of Ohio State. Line of scrimmage, the 35. Blitz is coming. Schnell looks, throws. This is Jones. He's inside the 20 to the 17. As the Hoosiers picked up the blitz well enough. And Jones beat the single coverage. William White tackled him. It's a first down for Indiana.
David Schnell handles this blitz better than any quarterback that Ohio State has faced all year long. Has a lot of cool, doesn't seem to be rattled, just steps up and throws the football. He has a one-on-one to his favorite receiver and target, Ernie Jones. He makes the throw. Jones makes the critical catch. Indiana has another first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 17 of OSU. This is Thompson looking for an opening, and he jumped to the 15. Gained just 2. Chris Spielman knifed beneath Thompson to spin him down. Well, I can recall in the fourth quarter, Paul, when LSU had the football a couple times and was driving. Of course, Rogan was the man, Johnny on the spot for the Buckeyes then. He's not in there now. Somebody else has got to pick off Schnell here. Thompson has reached the 100-yard mark.
There's no question Ohio State needs to come up with a big play on defense right now.
This is Thompson trying to spring it to the outside. He's yanked down at the 14. McCray and Holloman stymied that run, which gained just 3 yards. Third down. Indiana must get to the 7 for a first down.
The Hoosiers will want to be careful on this play. They're in a position to kick the field goal, so they don't want to lose that. But also, they'd like to make the first down because they keep possession of the football and take more time off the clock in an effort to go on for a 6-pointer.
This is Schnell in the pocket. Fires over the middle. Touchdown, Ernie Jones.
Touchdown pass.
Ernie Jones, who entered the game with 7 TD catches, picks off another one, Paul.
It's number 8 for Ernie Jones running a slant-in pattern over the middle. Great protection for Schnell, and he hits Jones in between 2 Buckeye defenders, Zach Dumas and David Brown, trying to convert on Jones on the play, but they're a little bit too late. Another touchdown for Indiana.
It's 23-10 in favor of the Hoosiers. Extra point try coming, and there's a flag on the play. The kick sailed between the uprights. It was good. Let's see what results from the discussion. The teams have headed toward their benches. Personal foul on the Buckeyes, and that will probably be assessed on the kickoff. 24-10. Indiana with a 14-point lead. Earle Bruce beside himself. His Buckeyes are in a big hole. Eight minutes and 47 seconds to go. Buckeyes have all 3 timeouts remaining. As you saw, the head official, Tom Quinn, signify the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
And as we see, Snell on that last touchdown toss looks straight over the middle into the hands of Ernie Jones as he slides into the end zone for the Indiana touchdown. Perfect play. You couldn't draw it up any better. Great protection here at the point of attack. Snell has plenty of time to throw the football. Locates his receiver right on target to Ernie Jones. 2 Buckeye defenders, Zach Dumas. David Brown a little bit too late, converging on Ernie Brown for touchdown number 8 for the outstanding wide receiver from Indiana. And the Hoosiers now are up in this ball game after the point after touchdown, 24-10.
So from the 50, Stojanovic will kick off. Stojanovic will boot it from the 50-yard stripe. And he smacks a low liner into the end zone. It is fielded by Workman, and he touches it down. And the Buckeyes will start from the 20, 1st and 10. The scoring drive by the Hoosiers, which followed the Ohio State turnover, went 54 yards in 8 plays. And the pass from Schnell to Jones culminated the drive. And the Buckeyes find themselves on the short end of a 24-10 score. 8 minutes and 47 seconds to go. And it's an understatement to say that the Buckeye offense must generate some big yardage. Higdon, first down out to the 33. Tupa to Higdon. Not only did the play gain 13, Paul, it stopped the clock.
Fine choice of plays by Ohio State's offensive team. Tupa electing to throw to Higdon down on the sideline. Higdon making the catch, getting as much yardage as he can, and then getting out of bounds to stop the clock. Ohio State is going to have a lot of plays like that. Alex Higdon now limped out off the field of play and on the Ohio State sideline, but Ohio State is going to have a lot of big plays in the latter part of this fourth quarter.
Jeff Ellis split 10 yards to the left on this play, which is run by Bryant. No gain. And the Hoosiers, as you might imagine, I should say, are really hepped up. Joe Huff blew in to make the tackle. Second down and 9 coming up for Ohio State. 8:14 to go in this game. Play action by Tupa, who shoots it for Ross to the 48, and he holds onto that football. And it's a first down for the Buckeyes. 8 minutes and a second to go.
Very fine catch by Everett Ross as he started to square in from his left side of his wide receiving position. Tupa, under a little bit of pressure, has to throw the ball sidearm. It sort of sails a little bit, but Ross goes up high to snag it before being brought down by 3 Indiana defenders. Ohio State has a first down in moving the football. The Buckeyes need more of that sort of thing.
Ross split 15 yards out of your picture to the right, to the bottom of the screen. Tupa throwing that way. The catch is made. A superb throw by Tupa. A nice running catch by Everett Ross. Ross snared it inbounds at the 21.
Everett Ross, who lined up this time on the right side of the field, will run a corner pattern. 25-yard pattern at least from execution. Fine throw by Tom Tupa. Everett Ross makes the catch with at least 1 foot in bounds, as you see, looking the ball in all the way. Great concentration. Big first down for the Buckeyes.
Play action, Tupa with time. He shoots it, nearly intercepted inside the 10-yard line.
Tom Tupa waited a little bit too late to throw the football over the middle. A few seconds earlier, a couple of hundredths of a second early, he had Vince Workman wide open over the middle. Looking at Workman, then he spotted Everett Ross coming down deep in the end zone and elected to throw, but it was much too late as Indiana recovered and converged on the football. Almost turned into an interception.
The clock is stopped, 7:41 to go. Fourth period. Indiana leads 24-10. Second down for the Buckeyes. Running play for 1 yard. As Bryant took the toss from Tupa and netted just 1. He stayed in bounds. The clock is running down to 7:23 to go. 3rd and 9 coming up. A field goal really doesn't do Ohio State much good. They're down by 2 touchdowns.
They need to score touchdowns here. This possession play, 3rd down and possession where the Buckeyes have not been good, looms as very, very important.
Matlock and Workman behind Tupa. He's trying to run it. He throws it short. It is caught and then dropped at the 19. Good hit applied by Brad Money. The ball arrived to Workman just as Money put a stick on him in his back.
Tom Tupa really has to throw this football a little bit early, primarily because number 48, Waiters again, almost has him locked up. Tupa somehow, miraculously, deals the ball off, but Brad Money almost makes a great interception, number 53 of Indiana. However, the ball goes to the ground, so the Buckeyes have one more attempt, a 4th down attempt, to make the yardage for a first down.
If the Buckeyes are to come back and win this game, they need to convert here. Tupa in the pocket, throwing into the corner, broken up. Indiana holds and takes over the football. Brian DeWitt's, number 13, got a hand on that pass.
A lot of Indiana people on that side of the field, at least 3 defenders. Brian DeWitt's almost came up with another interception. Tupa back in the pocket again after the play action fake, electing to throwing the ball a little bit sidearm, but there's nothing over there. But as you see, Indiana jerseys, along with DeWitt's number 45, Eric Hickerson.
6 minutes and 52 seconds to go. The drizzle continues here at Ohio Stadium. Indiana leads 24-10. Fourth quarter. And what the Hoosiers want to do now is keep it on the ground and keep it inbounds. Buckeyes are blitzing, trying to make something happen. McCray tackles Thompson, who is flushed out of bounds, stopping the clock at 6:48.
Well, that goes to the advantage of Ohio State. The Buckeyes shut the run down pretty good on the play. Actually, negative yardage for Indiana. And not only that, Thompson goes out of bounds, which stops the clock. So that is an advantage for Ohio State.
The play lost 2 yards. Thompson barges to the 21 or 2 as he gained back what he lost on the previous play and perhaps a yard in addition. Indiana far short of a first down. 3rd and 9 coming up, 6.5 minutes to go.
Don't really think the Hoosiers are too concerned about that right at this point. They'd like to make first downs to keep the clock going, but they just wanted to get the ball a little bit more centered to the field. The play before, they tried a wide play that was strung out of bounds to stop the clock. They want to keep the clock going.
Draw play. Thompson is stock cold behind the line at the 18. And the Buckeyes will get the football with about 5.5 minutes to go in the game, down by 14 points.
Chris Spillman making that tackle on the blitz that time. Spillman is picked up by one of the linemen, but he bounces off the lineman and gets to Thompson and makes the tackle.
Buckeyes need a block punt. Krasinski, who has other ideas, is back at the 5. Earle Bruce pacing the Ohio State sideline. Buckeyes almost got it. It's a high floater at the 50. Ross is pushed back to the 48. So the Buckeyes will have 5 minutes and 18 seconds, plus all 3 timeouts remaining, and will need to get 2 touchdowns.
Something the Buckeyes have not shown a lot of this year is the quick strike capability, and they certainly need it in this situation here. Although there are 5 minutes left on the clock, they need to score a touchdown and score a touchdown quickly in this situation so that they can have another opportunity with the ball.
Tom Tupa throwing for Ross. Off his fingertips, he was double covered. A penalty marker was thrown in the Ohio State backfield, and that might mean holding.
Well, it looked like Indiana had number 35, Joe Huff, coming on the blitz that time, and apparently he was held on the play. As officials are conferring with Captain Van Waiters of Indiana.
Matlock may have been the guilty party. Matlock held Waiters on that play, and the penalty sets Ohio State back to the 39, 1st and 20. This is Tupa. Flipping sidearm to Bryant, who hangs on. A penalty marker down. Catch was good at the 44. Perhaps an inadvertent face mask call against the Hoosiers. Maybe a pass interference call. That's what it is.
Number 21, Ferry, came up from his strong safety position and made the hit in covering on Jim Bryant, but he hit him just before Bryant received the ball. Tupa back in the pocket, looking will find Bryant after he steps up. Hits Bryant, but as you see, number 21, Mark Ferry, is riding all over Bryant's back.
That's a big call, Paul, because it gives Ohio State a 1st and 10. It carries with it an automatic first down. So rather than 2nd and 12 or 13 yards following the completion, the penalty means Ohio State has a first down at the spot of the foul out at the 45. Tupa throws short again. This is Bryant. He puts his head down and is dropped at the 46. We're down to 4:49 to go in the game.
Big George Cooper, who's hurting, but yet in the ball game, is doing a great job in providing protection for Tom Tupa. Number 48, Van Waiters, their outstanding blitzing linebacker, is there and applying great pressure, but George Cooper is nullifying some of that pressure.
Tupa fires it. It's picked off again by DeWitt as he hopped in front of Tony Coop and snatched it. Another intercept by the Hoosiers. The second by DeWitt in this game.
DeWitt's playing back there like a free safety should, like in center field, just reading the quarterback's eyes and then making the break on the ball. This time Tupa trying to throw to Tony Coop, but DeWitt's number 13, as he did nice in front of Coop, as he did in front of Alex Higdon on the previous series for his second interception.
4:26 to go. Indiana leads 24-10. They have a 14-point lead. And the Hoosiers have the football. Buckeyes have had a couple opportunities here in the last several minutes, but have not been able to get points. This is Thompson cracking forward to the 39, 2 yards short of a first down. We're down to 4:18 to go. Clock running.
Thompson, as he's done all afternoon long, Buckeyes gambling with the defenses, blitzing a little bit, sliding through holes, ability to find the clear and open spot and run to daylight and make yardage. Had a good gain of about 8 yards on that play.
Thompson's got 106 yards on the afternoon, 1 touchdown, averaging a little over 3 yards a pop. He's been the workhorse for this Hoosier offense. There's a drop football, flags fly.
Flag on the play.
Legal procedure call against the Cream and Crimson.
A couple of Ohio State defensive players were moving almost and encroached, but didn't quite do it. But nevertheless, the offensive lineman must momentarily, before the snap of the ball, be still, completely still, before the ball is snapped. And one of the Indiana offensive linemen moved just a hair before the ball was snapped.
.335 to go. 2nd down and 7 for Indiana. This is Thompson skipping it to the outside. He's got the first down to the 45 of Ohio State. David Brown and William White tackled Thompson, who's had a tremendous afternoon. Paul, you can cite the effectiveness of Schnell, the quarterback, the ineffectiveness of the Ohio State offense, but Thompson's running has set this game up for Indiana.
He has the ability to find the open spot, has very quick feet, can stop and go, but time and time again, Jack, as we said coming in this ball game, Indiana was doggedly determined to establish his running attack so it would be able to throw the football whenever it wanted to. And because of Thompson's running, they've been able to do that.
Hoosiers with 340 total yards today. More than 70 more than the Buckeyes. And this time it's Pulse churning out 8 or 9 yards. David Brown wrestled him down. We're down to 2:50 to go in this game. Buckeyes have 2 timeouts left. Soon they'll have to use them, but they need that football back in a hurry. And the Hoosiers obviously are unwilling to give it up that easily. David Brown was in there on that last tackle for Ohio State. 25-second clock winding down, as is the game clock. Under 2.5 to go. This is Pulse. He's got an opening inside the 25. He's down inside the 10.
Well, we said all afternoon long that Tom Pulse just runs basically to keep you honest, but that